a more experienced coach.
I hit recorded drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your sports guy, Kendrick Henderson, and this is TFG Sports Tonight, your best 30 minutes of sports shows on social media. Welcome in. Take your shoes off and sit down and hang out with us for the next 30 minutes. Now, this man sitting next to my right, Mr. Michael Coleman, KLTV Sports Director, he's at a party somewhere. Mike, where you at, man?
Okay, I'm just across town. I'm at the home of the Sanchez family. They invite us over for Taco Tuesday and Game 6 of the World Series. I think mostly the Astros fans are here. A couple of the Braves, and so Taco Tuesday. Here I am coming to you live from the garage of the Sanchez family.
And this is my man Mike. Hey, have fun. Y'all simmer down back there. Oh, so we got an audience tonight, guys, but that's cool. But Mike, man, I appreciate you coming on with me.
Right.
And I'm only gonna keep you for 30 minutes, then you can get to your tequila, tacos, and all that good stuff. Before we jump into this thing, to my watchers, please come in, say hello. Make sure you click like and share this to all your social media platforms and give us a shout out. We're going to make sure we shout you out back. So we're going to jump right into this thing. We're going to start off with the NFL recap week 8. And we're going to start off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Now, before we even talk about get into stats, the big thing of this game was the Saints lost their starting quarterback, Jameis Winston, to a knee injury in the second quarter after a tackle by linebacker Devin White. Come to find out, he actually ended up tearing his ACL and having some MCL as well, so he's out for the season. But somehow, Trevor Siemian came out, took over, led the team on a couple of scoring drives, and they end up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 36-27. Mike, what do you think about this game, and what do you think about the Saints quarterback situation?
Well, I think it makes no difference who's quarterbacking the Saints when they're playing Tampa Bay. They're just going to get beat. They got their number somehow, maybe, and more so the defense, because last year they were swept by the Saints. And, of course, what happened on Sunday with Trevor Siemian, in terms of their quarterback situation, I talked briefly over the weekend. Cam Newton, give him a call, but they're not interested. I've even heard Phillip Rivers' name get attached to this because he's like 3 miles or 3 hours away from them coaching high school ball.
Right.
But, hey, you know what? It was just one of Tom's not great days, and if anybody has an excuse for having an off day, it's a 44-year-old quarterback in the NFL who's Hall of Fame bound.
Yeah, it seemed like the Saints got his number, but his numbers weren't too bad. Brady was 28 for 40, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And Trevor Siemian went 16 for 29, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, yeah, the Saints do have their number. I think the Buccaneers, everybody think they're this invincible team. I think their defense isn't as good as it was last year. What do you think about that, Mike?
Maybe not. But they're just good enough to stop opposing offenses. I mean, this is a team that lost 5 games last year en route to the Super Bowl. And I think they're entering a bye week, I believe.
Yeah, they got a bye coming up this week. Yeah,
they had lost 5 games before the bye week last year. Their last loss last year was to Kansas City. Then the bye week. Then they went on a roll, and they hadn't lost. They went to the Super Bowl, of course, won that. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, they're having a better regular season than this year than they did last year. So they're going to be just fine.
you know, the injury bug has hit them in their secondary, so they still been dealing with that. They supposedly getting a couple of guys back, so they should be okay there. Now the Saints rushed for 152 yards against them, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the #1 ranked run defense in the league. They were only giving up 67.4 yards, so that showed me that they got a little chink in the armor. Hey, Shantae, how you doing? As far as you can run the ball on them if you stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can't. No, you can't. If you're patient, you can stick. You stick with your run game. You can keep Brady on the sideline, chew up that clock, but you got to make something happen. You got to make something happen. I mean, when they had that time left that they had on the clock Sunday, it wasn't to be because he got picked off with that time on the clock.
Right. And Brady had 3 turnovers, you know. You know, he's not a big turnover machine, but he was out of sync. You could tell that. And then also the penalties. Tampa Bay had 11 penalties for 99 yards. New Orleans only had 2 penalties. So this game was set up for New Orleans to really play them well. And I thought that after losing Jameis Winston, that New Orleans Saints defense really stepped it up a notch.
And it also tells you, don't play the Saints on Halloween night in New Orleans.
Right. Yeah. you got that right. So anyway, the Tampa Bay drops to 6-2. New Orleans moves to 5-2. So that NFC South division looks like it's just going to be a 2-team race anyway. Shantae says, just come to say one thing. Hey, how about them Cowboys? You know what, Shantae? You right on cue. Because I'm getting ready to talk about your Cowboys. Let's move to the Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night. Cooper Rush. Who saw this? This is only his third. I think this is his first start. He had only 3 passes in his NFL career. Cooper Rush went 24 for 40, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Mike, just give me your assessment of that Vikings-Cowboys game. What you think?
Well, if there ever was a time to scream out, how about them Cowboys, it was that night.
Yeah.
Because once he settled down, and, he kind of found a flow. I mean, CeeDee Lamb dropped a couple of key passes. I mean, really, they could have won this game by 20 points.
Yeah.
When you think about some of the, the untimely penalties and whatnot, but I just knew they were going to have to rely more on the run game. And and when they did run the ball, they had effectiveness with it. I mean, especially with using the skills of Zeke. I mean, he got that first down. And you know what's telling is how comfortable the receivers were because CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper were playfully different on who wanted to get their winning touchdown. I mean, somebody wanted to be in that moment, and that just shows you how much faith they had in Cooper Rush at that moment. So kudos to them. I know people are saying that maybe Dak should sit out again this week. I don't know. Depends. I mean, they're playing Denver.
Yeah. Right. And it's an AFC team. I mean, even if you lose it, so it really wouldn't hurt you as far as in your division because you're pretty much running away with that division right now anyway.
And the thing is about Denver, the next 3 teams they face, Denver, Atlanta, and Kansas City, are all low at the bottom of the poll when it comes to rushing quarterbacks.
Okay.
I think Dak's going to play, but it wouldn't hurt for them to let him sit out another week.
Well, they did say he's probably going to practice tomorrow, so you're right. It wouldn't hurt for him to sit out another week. The interesting thing, I was listening to some sports talk, and they said that Cooper Rush, on that fade he threw to Amari Cooper, the winning touchdown, they say he actually checked out of the original play.
Really?
Yeah. They say he actually checked out the play and threw that fade to Amari Cooper. So there you go. I mean, I tell you, he was really comfortable. He got comfortable as the day went on, and he actually looked pretty good. But let's talk about the defense. I think the defense showed that they can hold a team. They can keep a score low and not have to have a bunch of turnovers because they didn't have any turnovers last night.
Well, see, and you make a good point because not knowing what kind of game they were going to get from Cooper Rush, on the quarterback side, the offensive side, defense probably say, listen, no diss to him, but we're going to have to really be strong on our game tonight because we don't have Dak's not out there. Well, they were strong in their game, and Cooper Rush, it was a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm. Tremendous quarterback play, strong defense, get that win, and get out of Dodge.
Yeah, Shante says they kept saying they were comfortable with Dak or Cooper. And I'm sure they were, because Cooper took all the first team reps anyway that week. So they probably had already developed a rapport. Now, another telling stat for the defense, the Vikings totaled only 278 total yards against a Dallas defense that was allowing the second highest yards per game. So the defense, they knew that they had to help Cooper rush. They knew they had to step their game up, and I thought the defense played well. And let's talk about Randy Gregory. I don't think a lot of people talk about how disruptive this cat is.
Hey, dude, just imagine what his career could have been. But that's life. I mean, right now, I mean, the dude is a savage. I mean that in a good way for him, because it kind of comes across, maybe subconsciously, he's trying to make up for those games and those seasons that he missed. Because he wants to be great right now. I'm going to do that. Right. And I got to tip my hat to Jerry Jones for having faith.
But well, you know, Jerry is known to stick with guys a little longer than he should.
He
does. Right.
He does.
You're right.
I mean, so no, that's a good mix. And got Stephen A. Smith changing his tune about the Dallas
Cowboys. Hey man, you know what? I was at the gym watching him doing his top 5 power rankings. And when he got to number 1, I was like, okay, I hadn't seen Tampa Bay, so it must be Tampa Bay. When he put Dallas, man, I almost fell out. I said, I can't believe Stephen A. giving the Cowboys some love.
When he sat at that table at their set, and Swagoo and everybody.
Yeah, I saw him. His eyes were big as sauce.
Jeff Saturday came out. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, dang. But his beef is never. But his beef, as he claims, has really never been with the team.
Yes, with the fans. Yeah, but he's still a Cowboy hater. But I give him props for that. At least he's being he's showing like, yo, I'm gonna give this team some props because they playing well. So that's our NFL recap for Week 8. The Cowboys will host the Denver Broncos this coming Sunday at noon. And I could care less what the Vikings doing because they an NFC North rival and they suck, and I'm good with that. So let's move on to the NFL trades that happened. Really was kind of quiet. The one big trade that we thought I didn't think was going to happen. It didn't happen. Deshaun Watson was not traded from Houston to Miami. I kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. It didn't happen. Shante says, you know it's real when Big Mouth shows love. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Shante, when Big Mouth shows love. So outside of the Deshaun Watson not happening, the biggest trade happened yesterday. Denver Broncos send their 10-year all-everything, 8-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller to the LA Rams for a 2nd and 3rd round pick in a 2020 draft. What you think about that trade, Mike?
I think if you're going to get it, you think your window is now, you got to go do it. I mean, the Rams are they're notorious for doing that. Remember when they got Gurley a few years ago?
Right.
He served his purpose.
And Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey. So, so he served his purpose. And I think about Von Miller. Everyone talks about, well, he's older, he's lost a step. But he don't have to be the Von Miller with this defense with the Rams. Right. He's a Band-Aid. Yeah. He is a Band-Aid. I'm here to help wherever you need me. Because he can do that. He's not going to be an every down player. He doesn't have to be. And I think it's a smart move for them. But, a lot of times when you get all those pieces together, it don't happen what you're trying to get.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
You make all those moves.
Right.
Because it happens in the NBA often.
All the time. Yeah, it happens more in the NBA than the NFL. You rarely see that. But my thing is they got the big guy in the middle, Aaron Donald. They got the cat in the back, Jalen Ramsey. Now they got a pass rusher, Von Miller. Then they got Little, I believe. They got another pass rusher. So they preparing this defense. They stacking this defense for a playoff run.
How about this? You and I were at camp. Cowboys getting Haley back in the day.
That
was that missing piece.
Right.
From San Francisco, and he went on to the Super Bowl. So
so Von Miller, it looks like he may be the missing piece, but he still got to go play football. And he's been nicked up a little bit the last couple of years, so they probably won't have to use him as much as they had to use him in Denver. So I definitely think they're gonna have that defense that's gonna be ready.
Now I saw the interview with him leaving the Denver complex, the Bronco complex. I saw that video.
I didn't. Right, of course. 10 years, man.
But I promise you, when that camera was turned off and they got like 2 blocks down the way, He was going, oh yeah,
it's old and popping.
Oh,
Right. Well, we're gonna run through a couple of other quick trades that happened. Here's another kind of big one. The Steelers trade their outside linebacker Melvin Ingram to the Chiefs for a 6th-round draft pick. Obviously, Ingram had only signed a 1-year deal with the Steelers. He hadn't played a lot, so that's some help. We were just talking about the Chiefs need to do something on the defensive side. Also, another trade. The Rams, they did waive wide receiver Deshaun Jackson. We were talking off camera that
he'll get picked up.
He may end up in Kansas City. You know, like you say, they like picking up offensive weapons. So Deshaun Jackson may end up in Kansas City.
Didn't he play for Andy Reid at one time?
I believe he did play for Andy.
In
Philly. Yeah, he played for Andy Reid. So he will probably end up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Mark, me and Mike, we giving y'all the scoop. He probably gonna end up in Kansas City.
And you know what? And they may end up, if that's the case, releasing Josh Gordon.
That could be, yeah, that's true too. So, hey, keep your eyes locked. It's going to probably be some more. I mean, as far as it won't be any more trades, but it can still be some more releasing, whatever. Green Bay Packers waived Jalen Smith, former Cowboy.
Surprise.
I was kind of surprised by that too, especially when we need linebacker help. The Packers do. But I guess they decided that, you know, they could move on from him. So where his career ends up, who knows? I think he still got some miles on the tire. He ain't old.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he get picked up by somebody. So those are really the big trades that happened today. Again, Deshaun Watson, all the speculation about him going to Miami, they ain't happening.
Yeah.
The Texans basically said they're going to probably keep him. They're going to keep him and try to see if they can work something out in the offseason. All right, so let's move on to our next topic. NAACP tells professional athletes not to sign in free agency with any Texas teams. Now, the president and CEO of NAACP, Derek Johnson, wrote a letter to professional athletes urging them not to sign with Texas sports franchises during free agency. And his reason, recent laws issued in Texas in regards to abortion regulations, election restrictions, and removing COVID-19 mask mandates. Mike, when I read this, I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's interesting. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I think they're trying to leave the heavy lifting to the athletes. What are they going to do? I mean, if you got the athletes, to do this, what are you going to do? You know, I mean, I can't even think the last time I've heard a sentence with NAACP and professional athletes was said at the same time. Maybe Colin Kaepernick.
Right. That's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and where were they when Colin was going through his thing? I just think if you're trying to mess with somebody's pocketbook, I don't know, man. I mean, that's you know, especially.
I wish it. That's the same thing I'm saying. That's kind of like how can you tell me to if I'm being offered a certain amount of money for my future and my family's future, and you think I should turn that down just because you have beef with a certain state's government regulations? We can have issues with every state in the country. Then
exactly.
You want to say that? Don't sign with a team in Florida. Don't sign with a team in California. Don't sign with a team in New York. So I don't get where they were coming from with this.
And again, my thing is, this is the arena you wanted to be in, serving and humanitarian, and, you know, helping.
Yeah.
You know, helping show the reason why we need laws for this and that. Don't rely on the athletes.
Right,
you know,
right.
You got to rely on who you guys are, the organization. Which, to be honest with you, really hasn't been that all stand out and helping. I haven't even heard nothing from the NAACP.
Yeah. That's real talk, you know, and that's being honest. I mean, you know, we really don't hear a lot from that organization until I think they try to maybe get some headlines.
It's a desperate move. It's a move of desperation.
And this is and this is not dissing the NAACP by no means. But I'm being critical a little bit.
They need to talk to the congressmen and the politicians and the Bidens of the world. Don't go to the athletes with this.
Right. And then Johnson and the Texas NAACP president, Gary Bledsoe, they feel that the new laws here in Texas have a disproportionate effect on the black community. Well, we've been having laws that's been disproportionate to us since the beginning of time. So why pick this particular issue now?
Exactly.
I don't understand that. But anyway, so I just, you know, we'll keep an eye on this. I don't see athletes gonna turn down a contract
and you know
in
what?
Texas.
especially the athletes who are of the age, the millennial athletes.
Right.
They don't have any. They have no connection with the NAACP. Not compared to our generation. They don't.
Right.
Like, okay, well, I've heard of them.
Right.
That's about it. So that's gonna be a tough sell.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to get your thoughts on that. So NAACP, it ain't like we do love you. We're not dissing you.
Right.
But we don't understand this one. So let's go back to the drawing board with that one. Let's come up with a different game plan.
Please.
All right. So we're gonna move on to our next topic. 17-year-old phenom Mikey Williams signed a historic endorsement deal with Puma, making him the first high school athlete to sign an endorsement deal and apparel deal with Puma. Now, who is Mikey Williams? He's a top prospect, class of 2023. He's a 6'2" junior combo guard that's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He plays at Vertical Academy. He's ranked the number 14th basketball player by 247 Sports and number 11 by ESPN. He signed a deal with Excel Sports Management in July. Name, image, and likeness. Now these student athletes can sign these deals and get endorsements and all. And he is expected to make millions of dollars even before he turns 19 years old. And check this out. He don't know what he's gonna do, if he's gonna play college basketball or not.
Wow.
And he has everybody after him. Mike, what you think about this historic endorsement deal?
Yeah, that's a tough one right there, man. I mean, but you think about it, he's going to that academy.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody was going to get a deal like that, it would be those athletes at those academies that are pristine and very selective. But ain't no kid from Legacy or Tyler High School gonna get an NIL deal.
No. Right.
No. And so here, just like you tell young people, not everybody can play professional sports. There's going to be a new mantra. Not everybody can get that kind of money.
That's right.
Yeah, you're good at what you do, but you're not quite good enough to get that kind of coin.
Yeah,
So you got to work at it. You got to keep working at it.
Right.
You have a better chance of getting to the pros than you do getting the deal like the kid got.
And I think when we talk about basketball, I think the athletes, guys and girls that play basketball, I think because of it's not based. Football is it's a little different. I think basketball is a little bit more image based. You know what I mean? Right. So I think those guys and gals, they can get those deals a lot quicker than I think football players can.
Yes.
So because basketball is such a image driven and that type sport. So my thing is, young fella, get your money. I mean, let me say this: he's good. I've watched some highlights of him. Oh, he's nice. I mean, he's 6'2" and he's got a nice game. He's only 17, so he's gonna be making millions of dollars if he even signed a pro contract. And I have no problems with these young athletes getting able to make money off of themselves. The only thing I hope is that they got good financial advisors that's helping them manage their money. That's the biggest thing that I see that can happen with this. And agents trying to, it's agents out there that's sharks. Well, trying to take advantage of them.
And also, whoever it is you're going to surround yourself with, it's going to be very important that the family is kept in the loop.
Yes.
Right. You don't want any moves made without mom and dad knowing about it.
Right.
And if you get a guy or a woman that wants to do it that way, they ain't that the one for you.
Right. That's right. So, young fella Mikey Williams, hey, I might have to buy me some Pumas, see what you're working with, see what you get. I'm gonna look forward to that. So that's it for that. So we down to our final thoughts, Mike. Tell me what you got.
Okay, let's talk about those Texas Longhorns. I don't know if you heard about this. Now, they've lost 3 games after having a double-digit leads. Oklahoma State, and then come off a bye week and lose to Baylor.
Right.
Okay. What better way to get the distraction from what they're not able to do than to have your special teams coach who left his wife and 2 kids to hang with this woman who is a stripper in Austin, and on trick-or-treat night, Sunday night, her pet monkey, right, where'd that come from? Her pet monkey had to be pried off one of the trick-or-treaters. It's bidding. And this is a true story.
Bro, is this real, bro?
This is the first time I heard about it was on Dan Patrick's show this morning, and not even from Dan Patrick. Somebody called in to talk about what they want to talk about, but the guy first said, "I'm surprised you guys didn't cover the biggest story in sports." I said, "What's that?" "Oh, about a Texas coach's girlfriend who has a pet monkey that bit this kid on Halloween night." And he said, "But we'll say that for another day." Like, is he BSing me? I got home, man. In my emails, I get
right. Yeah.
Barstool Sports.
Right, yeah, I do too. I didn't get that. Okay.
It's there. And you
wow.
Because someone tweeted it out yesterday saying, "Hey, I heard from a credible source, blah, 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 blah." And so the woman, she's a stripper. She goes by the name of Pole Assassin. Yeah. She's already been on a Jerry Springer show because somebody showed a clip of her. And so at first she tried to deny it, and then she came clean. The monkey is part of her act. and so the coach.
Bro, stop it.
The coach's last name is Banks. But no, and so as the writer said in that Barstool story, you can be sure the PR person at UT that drew the short straw.
Yeah, for real.
So
it's a lot of monkey business going on in Texas.
And so for the Longhorns, in order to get some type of reputable standing, they got to get that losing, i.e., that monkey, off their back.
Right, you crazy.
That's what I thought.
Look at man, I think I done lost it, man. A stripper with a pet monkey, man. Come on.
And her name is Cold Assassin.
That's about like the. Oh man, I can't tell this story. That's about like the story we heard when we was in Wichita Falls, Mike. You remember the story about the one-armed stripper?
Yeah. I know which one you mean.
All right, man. Okay, I got to get serious, man. Okay. Enough of the monkey business from Texas. Okay, all right. I gotta gain my composure, man. Okay, two things real quick. The College Football Playoff Committee. They just did their rankings for the college football playoff. The first one, this is the first ranking. Number 1 is Georgia. Number 2 is Alabama. Number 3 is Michigan State. Number 4 is Oregon. Cincinnati is at number 6. So I kind of thought, they probably not gonna. Cincinnati gonna have a tough time, maybe cracking in that top 4. But they just got to win out. That's all they can do, and hopefully they can get that vote in.
Well, it's a money grab.
Yeah, it's a money grab. Yeah,
right. Michigan State, they got a pretty good little following, Big Ten.
Yeah,
we know about the SECs of the world. So it's a money grab. So, like you said, win out and show them we belong here.
Yeah, and I wasn't surprised Oklahoma wasn't there because I think they've had some. They've won, they're undefeated, but some of their wins that haven't been very impressive. They've had a lot of
close calls.
Yeah, they've had a lot of close calls. So I wasn't surprised they weren't there.
All right, buddy, come on behind me, everybody.
And then my second thing, and this is really on a serious note. Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III was involved in a fatal car accident in Vegas, and he's been charged with DUI resulting in death. One person died. In the state of Nevada, that's a Category B felony, and it carries a minimum term of 2 years and a maximum term of 20 years in the state jail in Nevada. So Henry Ruggs III, man, 22, was having a breakout season, was the number 12 pick of the Raiders back in 2020. Now he's facing some legal issues. So my thoughts is with the family of the deceased, and we just hope, you don't know what to say when these situations happen, man. I just wish these athletes would learn to make better decisions, man. You can't drive, get you an Uber, do something. Don't drive,
Well, and it's going to be a distraction to what the Raiders have been doing. So
right.
All right, here's the crew right behind me there. What we at? See over here?
Talk to me, crew. Talk to me. Go Cowboys. Hey. Thank you for watching, Mike. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hey, enjoy the rest of your Taco Tuesday. Hey, this has been your sports guy Kendrick with TFG Sports. You know where you can find me here every Tuesday at 6:30. And until next Tuesday, peace.
Yeah, money clip